Hi, everyone. I'm Carey Pena, and this is Front Doors TV. We are broadcasting today from the Center for Positive Media. I want to welcome to the studio Laura Bode, who is the Vice President of Philanthropy for A New Leaf. Laura, thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me.
You guys are doing incredible work, and you have been for many years. New Leaf is one of the largest local nonprofits. You have 550 people working for your agency, running 40 programs. How many people do you serve a year?
We serve over 20,000 people here in our local community every year. We've been serving the community for 53 years.
What is your specialty? What do you do?
Really, our core focus is housing stability. And that can mean a lot of different things for people, depending on the challenges that they've had. But a lot of it's, first that crisis intervention, and then connecting them to resources along the way that really impact their long-term stability.
You take a holistic approach. There are a lot of folks who are doing great work in this space, but what makes you unique is that you really take a holistic approach. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Our case management is really the key. We've really elevated that in the last couple of years to really be able to be very individualized with people. People have a lot of different experiences. Sometimes it's not what they're presenting when they come in because they're in crisis, but it's kind of unpacking that and seeing, what's behind a lot of the challenges that they come to us with. And, once we get past that, let's get a roof over your head, a safe place to sleep, food on your plate. Now, what can we do to connect you to resources in the community or services that we provide to help them really resolve some of those challenges that they maybe have lived with since they were children?
You want to get a plan in place.
Absolutely. Housing stability plan is what we work with people from day one. And then they're meeting with their case manager every week to set goals and identify, what are the barriers to getting away at them achieving those goals. And when they leave our program, we want to make sure that they have a plan beyond that of how to continue to work on that stability plan for long term.
What drives you? What is your mission?
Well, New Leaf's mission is helping families changing lives. That's pretty broad. But me personally, I experienced domestic violence when I was a kid, and I think the system kind of failed me. But now working in an organization that really approaches it so much differently, and being able to help other people, find safety, you recover from trauma, and then that carries forward in the next generations as well when they're raising their kids too.
It's interesting to me that you talk about, your own personal experience, and that gives you a unique lens. And I'd imagine some additional sensitivity with so many of the families who come to you for help who are in domestic violence situations.
It's so hard to understand, what people experience. It's easy to make judgments of, why don't they just leave, or why don't they get a job, or, there's a lot of different judgments that happen there, or it should be easy to overcome the challenges that they've experienced. But it's so complicated when you have that trauma, first and foremost, that you haven't dealt with. It's so hard to get past that. And a lot of times you've lost hope, and you can't even see your future anymore. And when they're coming into our programs a lot of times, and they're seeing sometimes our community members coming there to volunteer or facilitate an event, they're actually getting some hope back because they see that the community still cares about them. And especially for somebody that's experiencing homelessness, a lot of times they kind of get the perception that people wish they would just disappear.
Wow. There's nothing more sad than seeing someone who loses hope. That is truly a really devastating thing. What is the biggest challenge you're facing right now? I know that there's been some shifts in how government funding is allocated. There's a emphasis now on prevention programs, which is obviously really important, but you still have to feel the need for all the people who are in crisis right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of different theories, ways to address homelessness. Prevention is very needed, and the best probably approach to that, because you want to reduce people's trauma. We don't want people to become homeless, but we can't overlook the fact that there are a lot of people currently experiencing homelessness for a variety of reasons. We have a homelessness problem here in our community. And A New Leaf and a few other providers are really on the front lines addressing that with crisis intervention shelter services. And we've lost a lot of the support in that area. And because we don't have as much government funding as maybe we used to, we really need the community to step up and provide that support too.
And before we go, I think one of the really interesting things about A New Leaf is that you also sort of specialize in acquisitions, if you will, of other nonprofits that maybe have a service that can benefit your organization. And if they're on the verge of maybe closing their doors, you often step in, help them stay open, and then you make that a part of what you offer.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of our growth over the years has been because of some mergers with A New Leaf. And unfortunately, it's become very difficult to maintain a nonprofit. It's very complex, and you need that strong infrastructure, almost like a corporation, to be able to have 550 employees and operate 40 programs and serve 20,000 people a year. So, Homeward Bound is a program that we acquired just this year, long impact in the community. And A New Leaf saw that as an opportunity. They were really struggling. We wanted to make sure we preserved that resource for the community. So we took them on, and we're in the process of making them healthy again.
Laura, thank you so much. How can people find out more information if they want to volunteer, or there's tax credit, gift opportunities? How can people find out more?
There's so many ways to get engaged. You can find out more on our website at turnanewleaf.org. Volunteer, make donations, basic needs that we are always in need of. So lots of ways to get engaged.
Thank you so much. We appreciate all that you do. And thanks to all of you for watching. I'm Carey Pena.